Nimble with numbers here. Scott Simpson, welcome to Sunday. Glorious fucking Sunday. I'm here. Sunday. I'm joined by my guy, Bo_McBigTime. How are you doing this morning, Bo? You haven't slept.
No, but I feel pretty good.
How much data, NFL data, matchup data, stats, projections, ownership rankings are just coursing through your veins right now?
Not a ton. I mean, I'm surprised I didn't do a lot of that mining when I had all that time. But yeah, for real, I was kind of just death scrolling through the nighttime Twitter feed for most of it. And then I was searching some food videos on YouTube and Instagram. So yeah, I passed my time pretty effectively without meddling with my stuff.
That's actually what I really wanted to hear. I wanted to hear that your thoughts haven't been assuaged and blown back and forth by the winds of change. You know, the 6 hours that have passed since we last spoke. I'm
pretty stubborn, so
I was gonna say I'm still on to a lot of our same plays. So I'm stubborn as well. So let's talk about what this show is. Each week, Scotty needs a new pair of shoes, basically, so I can give them to my kids and they can run and go away from me. And I want them to be able to have what they need to survive. And apparently that means she sheds and cars and their own property on my property. I own a townhouse right now. I've got no millions. I'm poor. So what I'm trying to do is make a mill today so that I can provide for my family and they can just leave me alone. My guy Bo here doesn't have that same problem, but who couldn't use a mill and a vacation in 2020, Bo? So that's the goal.
Yeah, and to be honest, I need a mill just to pay the bills in California here.
Oh, yeah. I get that totally. My guy, Real Rhinos, happy
Love you,
Sunday.
Rhinos.
Love you guys. Love all those guys over there.
Really clever nickname because his name is Ryan, I think.
Yeah.
It's really clever.
It was that or like Rye the Rye guy. And that was, I mean.
He's one of those really nice surly follows on Twitter. I really like his dry humor, and he takes the little jabs at people, and I just love it. And if you ever heard his voice, he sounds like Vin Diesel.
Oh, I've not heard that. That's cool shit.
That's a good trait.
That's awesome, But one thing I do love about him as well is most of the time he's not jabbing me.
That might change now.
Oh no! Well, here's the thing. I do cut a mean rug on Twitter, but it's mostly at myself. It's not really aimed at anybody in particular. So we'll keep shots.
Self-deprecation is endearing. So
yeah, and Real Rhino said Ryan the Rhino. So you're on it. He's dying. We're glad he's here. We're glad everybody is here today. Here's what Bo and I are going to do. We're going to go top to bottom, quarterback down to defense. We're going to try to build a Milly Maker winner. We get one shot. We don't got 150 bullets. We're not doing an optimizer. We don't have a million different options. We're going to try to pick the best plays. They're going to maximize the percentage, the leverage. I have a couple tools that I'm going to use to help me as well along in the process. What we have right now is just the DraftKings screen pulled up.
Yeah. Do you know what the real story is? We're just better than that.
Yeah, that's the real story. One of the tools I do use on a regular basis is my own tool that I created this year. It is over at nimblewnumbers.com. It is a DraftKings data tool. It has all of the points scored this year by every fantasy player except Amir Abdullah. I got to be honest, I forgot him this week. I didn't put him in. He scored last week, but I forgot him.
That's a mistake.
I know, but because he's not on the slate, I can go back and fix it. It's a Monday night game. I'm not worried about it, but that's the only guy.
I was upset that Nick Foles wasn't on the main slate. That was one of my best guys for the Thursday through Monday full slate.
Yeah, well, you know what? Throw into the A-Rob guy. He's pretty good. He makes some catches and stuff. Yeah. I might want to draft him one of these years. I hear he's good. Well, a couple different tools we're going to use here. This is one of them. Our brains is another one. What we've been through this week, what we've learned. I talked to Bo. I've listened to like 19,000 DFS podcasts. So I've heard the run back. I've done my own. I'm going to hear from you as well. Let's talk about quarterbacks this week. We have a lot of not a lot. We have a few good pay up options. We have the we have the Josh Allen versus Kyler Murray in the desert shootout. What do you think about that game? Do you want to pay up for one of those big shootout potential QBs in this matchup, or do you want to differentiate a little bit?
This week, I'm not going to pay up in a tournament. it's sometimes I do. I mean, like last week I did. In a couple of my tournament plays, there was some good options like Kyler Murray and Josh Allen that I spent up on, and they paid off big time. I mean, they're just super good. And you paid up on Patrick Mahomes last week, and that was a great call. But this week, the value just, I mean, other than Kyler Murray, who's a pretty decent value because, I mean, honestly, he could have been up at 9,000 for all we know. But DraftKings has been pretty lenient on us this week, and 8,000 is a pretty good price for a guy that's averaging 30 a game.
Yeah.
But for this week, I see a similar amount of upside from cheaper quarterbacks, and so we can spend up on the guys we really, really want to have in our lineup, and spend a lot less on quarterback and get about the same expectation of point total.
Yeah. And looking at the Occupy Fantasy tool that I have up on the screen, if you're going to use Kyler Murray, you're going to get him at around a 20% clip. And so that's not going to be differentiating yourself from the field. You almost
hope he bombs by fading him. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So this gives us a general idea of where the numbers are going to be for ownership. Not that you have to go by this metrics or any other metrics necessarily. If a good play is a good play, most of the time you want to put it in. But for GPPs, it's different. Like that's the thing. You got to think through a different lens for GPP. So we'll kind of use this to guide us. It won't be our final say, but it'll give us just a little bit of a track where we'll put guys. So
I am a little bit more concerned about ownership this week because of how much value is on the board.
Yes.
I want to make sure that my value means something.
Yes. Well, if we're going to drop down below this top echelon, the Rodgers-Wilson group, into this second, third tier, even maybe fourth tier of quarterbacks, we got a lot to play from Justin Herbert, who's been lighting the world on fire at 6,600. I mean, all the way down. I mean, Tua at 5,600 and Lock.
I'm a little biased towards Herbert. If I don't know why, just something about Herbert. Something about Herbert just gets my blood pumping.
Get you going. Yeah,
he's actually from Eugene, Oregon. Like originally, he was born and raised there.
Well, I like it, and one thing I do like too is that he's only 5% owned. So you're
insane.
Yeah, that's nuts. So let's just say if we start off with Justin, Herbert, and kind of see where that leads us. He's not too priced up, 6,600. He's going up against
a quarterback that's averaging almost 30 a game. That's a great price.
I mean, for me and my money, honestly, I have to. If I'm going to play Herbert, I've got to put Allen in. I just have to. I mean, it's a lock button. If you're going to put one in, you have to have the other.
Even at 7,100, that's more of an appropriate price for him. You're not overpaying for a guy that's that steady. And he's been so criminally underpriced leading up to this week that we might get that little dip in ownership below the expectation because of that magical $7,000 barrier that blocks a lot of players from even wanting that guy in his lineup, even if he's that good.
Yeah. And it only puts us at like around 12.7% ownership so far. So I like that. We're not too heavy in with our first stack. What do you want to do at running back? There's a couple of low cost options, a couple of pivots, as we could say. Where do you want to go at running back this week with all the different options on the table?
There's so many great values this week. I'm going to try to stay away from Mike Davis, even though he's the best value on the board, because we're looking at upwards of 50%. So I'm hedging my bet there that I'm expecting him to hit the value, but if everybody hits the value, then you're not getting anywhere, especially in the Milly Maker when you need to be different.
Right.
And if I'm looking at trying to beat somebody with 150 builds, about 80 to 90 of those for a max player are going to be with Mike Davis in that build, maybe even more.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get away from that because it doesn't help you if you have Mike Davis and he goes off.
No. Well, and here's the thing, too. If everybody – think about this. A rising tide lifts all boats. So if you're in the Mike Davis boat with everybody, you all get pushed up, you're all still the same, right? Yeah. But if you're at the rising tide and a riptide comes in and, that riptide happens to be, let's say, Miles Sanders, and he's low owned and no one has that, then you get pushed up and everybody else gets pushed down. So you got to think about that in a GPP. In cash, Mike Davis, lock 100%, bang, 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 bang. But for us right here, we're gonna pivot, as they say.
And plus Mike Davis against a pretty solid the Bucs are great against the run. But Mike Davis's value is really as a PPR receiving back. But Tampa Bay hasn't done great there. In fact, McCaffrey and Davis split 12 targets last time they played each other. Davis is going to get a good amount of targets, which is going to be attractive at that $4,000 price. However, he doesn't have much of a ceiling. I'm not expecting 25 points out of Mike Davis. I'm expecting 15 to 20, which is good value for a cash game. He's almost a shoo-in for a cash lineup.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at that humongous upside for Miles Sanders coming off the injured reserve. A lot like I was doing with Christian McCaffrey last week, where he was only 5% owned. And that was huge for me because I had Dalvin Cook plugged in. And I was like, okay, I can either spend up at wide receiver and go chalky, or I can spend up even more at running back and get a guy with humongous, probably the highest upside in the entire league on any given slate, and get a bargain pretty much for even no matter how pricey it was. And I mean, he's been as high as 10,000, and last week, what was he? 81. I'll take that. I'll take all that all day. But I love Sanders. I also like Chubb for the exact same reason. The news just broke this morning that they're expecting to give Chubb a very heavy workload on the ground because of the weather. I expect Kareem Hunt to get his, but he's priced up for somebody who's going to be sharing with a guy that just come back with fresh legs. Yeah. No, Chubb is barely more than Kareem Hunt is.
Yeah. No, I think just 1,000 more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I like that. So if we have a priced up Miles Sanders, who do you like in the lower tier, drop down value back in this situation? Who's somebody we could pivot to that will still give us some money to go up after those wide receivers that we're going to covet in a little bit?
And I've been touting Duke Johnson all week, but for the Milly Maker, I'm actually going to say that I'd rather have the upside of Jamal Williams with the game flow expected. We're looking at a lot of running volume in Green Bay because the expected game script is going to be heavily in favor of Green Bay. I mean, we're very likely to see Green Bay get out to an early lead like they did last week against San Francisco. And if that's the case, I mean, Aaron Jones is going to get plenty, but Jamal Williams is minimum. He's 4,000, and he has a lot more upside as a back than does Duke Johnson and than does Mike Davis. We've seen him go off even with Aaron Jones on the field. Yeah. And Aaron Jones isn't on the field the whole time. No. You see a pretty good split there. Yeah.
No, I like that for differentiation. We're 31% ownership right now, and we have some wide receivers that we need to put in. Who are you thinking at wide receiver that we need to pay up for?
If you're okay with Devontae Adams, so am I. But we don't have to. I mean, that's 9,000. That is very high upside, of course, and very steady floor. We're talking minimum 20, maximum 40 out of Devontae Adams.
So I agree with you on that. The only issue I have, the only thing I'm going to check and see is ownership projections. It's the only thing. And we'll see what that
21% is the last I saw, which is pretty high.
That is pretty high.
Especially for the price.
Yep. Yeah, he's at 21%. So let's add him and then just see. We're at 52% ownership right now, but it's not over. We're not completely done. I like Robert Woods a lot this week.
Yes.
I think he is a smash. Let's see how much this is going to impact us here. We might be treading a little close to the edge of the sun, but
we'll be scraping at flex most likely.
Yeah. Well, I hope something can be granted to me at the flex.
You have a twinkle in your eye, Scott.
Oh man, you know me. It's not just the vape pen.
It's not just the mirror shades either. It's an actual twinkle. I can see it right through it.
Well, here's the cool part. When you think about something and come up with something and hear something and then you process it and then you hear Salvetri kind of go boom, 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 boom. It's my most biggest play of the week at wide receiver, best value at the under, at the min price. You're just going, ooh, oh, Sal's on it. I hope I'm on it with him. And so
is he on with me? Because my guy at 3K is it the same one. I haven't listened to Sal's stuff. You know who my guy is.
Well, we'll have to see. That's a tease, folks. That is, we're close.
You'll have to stay with us for the next 3 minutes before he reveals it.
47 seconds. It comes out. So
I got time to pour a cup of coffee. Shit.
Right. Cheers. Yeah. Go brew that up.
The only thing next to me is an empty rub bottle that I was measuring for my new graphics that are coming out soon.
Well, I like that. I have my own rub bottle next to me, if you know what I mean, as well.
Yeah.
So,
A vino doesn't count.
Damn it. Look, here's where we're at right now. I put in the Rams defense because for me, that is the key play of the day. I love it. Yeah, it's Rams,
especially when their floor is about 5-6 points, and that's what it takes to get 3x out of a 2,200. Even if they get 0, you're spending up everywhere else because you have as much freedom as you could possibly get.
Yeah.
So I don't care. 2,200, you don't even care if they throw up a goose egg against Seattle.
No, and it's only 1.8% ownership. So
that's insane.
That's perfect.
How insane is that for a defense that is insanely good at rushing the passer?
Yeah.
And their secondary is pretty freaking strong. Yeah, and Seattle's missing all their good backs. So all that running that they would be doing to gouge the Rams at their weakest, they're not going to do the same thing. Yeah. I mean, DJ Dallas and Travis Homer and who they picked up. They called up
Alex Collins.
Yes, the former Raven, who I actually like, and the Seahawks like. But we're talking about a trio of no names, basically. I mean, Dallas is a pretty good rookie, but the other two guys are just like role players, and they're not Chris Carson. They're not even Rashad Penny, who's yet to be seen this year.
Yeah,
we're looking at a pretty pass-heavy attack on both sides, and that favors the Rams.
No, it does. Big time.
The Rams are designed to beat their division rivals. They're designed as a roster to beat the Seahawks.
I think they are going to beat the Seahawks. I'm in the statement games contest today. Shout out, Mark from Statement Games was on my podcast, The DFS Money Shot, last night. Bo is in there.
Mark's a good dude.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
I kind of got to give him a little ribbing because he's a New York Giants fan and I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah,
I can only like him so much because of that.
Yeah. Let's talk tight end here. We have 8,100 left.
I love talking tight ends with you because you are the tight end whisperer. Like you can just reach up and squeeze one and you know exactly how ripe it is.
Well, I have a super min cash play for you today.
Is it Hollister? Because that's my guy.
No, it's even more. It's deeper dive than that. It's even more. I know. I'm gonna show it to you because I've told no one. Well, I didn't tell anybody. I asked Salvetri in his live stream about it. He didn't respond to the question, which is fine. Which meant it kind of went unnoticed. But
he was big time in you.
Oh no, he didn't. Here's why. I shouted him out in the chat, and he shouted me out in the chat earlier. He said, "Nimble W numbers, I love you. You're great. Thanks, man. You're doing great. Blah blah blah." So but he just
because his name is Salvetri doesn't mean he's a mafia guy. You don't have to give him the accent.
But he'll kill you. He'll kill you. No, he does.
You're gonna get clipped, Scott. Nimble W numbers. You're not nimble around bullets, are you? There.
It's over. He goes, fellas. So he lays it on thick.
I don't think Sal's a mobster, to be honest.
Oh, he's he's DFS gangster. That's what I think.
Connected up in Providence.
Man, that guy has got numbers for days. If I'm nimble with numbers, that dude's like quantum physics with numbers. So that's
crouching tiger, hidden dragon with numbers.
Man, that guy's the man. And this was not planned, but just shout out Salvetri for sure. Love that guy. I'm in Scott Fish with him, and I messed up. I forgot to start Gronkowski. I know. Anyway, I could have won. I forgot to start Mike Evans. I started Gronkowski instead. But anyway, I'm going to show you something that's gonna give you a little bit of a thought, right?
I got to see it. I got to see it now. You've been building it up too much.
Can you tell me what is the biggest game on the slate today? The biggest total, the game that looks like it's going to be the eye candy pop. What game is that? What do you think?
Shoot, I can't even think of it. Is it?
I'm thinking Arizona versus Buffalo. Personally,
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That's
I would think Seattle, LA would be my top total.
Possible.
But yeah, Arizona, Buffalo, I think might be an underpick for me because Arizona's defense is underrated. Josh Allen is turnover prone when he's not facing the Seahawks.
True.
He's going to put up great numbers, of course.
Yeah.
Josh Allen he's a stud.
Yeah.
But this week, I think he's in for a little regression. And the Cardinals, Buffalo's defense is all right too. They're not great. Arizona's defense isn't great. They're both average, but I just think it's going to be more of like your 51, 52 total instead of 55, 56. 27-24 Cardinals. That would be my pick.
I like that. So one thing that I've noticed recently, just paying attention, for me.
Oh, I know who it is.
It's something I like to do. Oh, you do now?
Can I guess? And then you can tell me I'm wrong?
Yeah.
Because I love being told I'm wrong.
Yes, you can guess.
Is it Daniels?
No,
Okay.
You're wrong.
He scored last week, didn't he?
No, he did not. Daniels did. Yes, so I'm looking at Arnold. Yes, Daniels did score. He's at 2,900. I'm going even deeper down to Max Williams.
Double X. He scored too.
He did. He came back off of the IR, first game he's played all season. They were so happy to have him back. He's a veteran presence.
He also escaped, much like Hayden Hurst, escaped the shadow of Mark Andrews.
Yes. I'm a big Max Williams guy as a punt
Double
play.
X Max 2 X's.
2 X's, 2,500. What do you think about that? I don't think anybody and their mother will be on that guy, and that gives us a little bit more money to get our flex.
Honestly, they're the first person I've had mention that name in a DFS light. I've seen people stream him this week when I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. But yeah, he did score a touchdown last week, and he's a veteran tight end. So at 2,500, you're looking for a pointy dart that might stick somewhere. Who the fuck knows?
We'll monitor him. We'll put him in. We'll monitor him to see.
Put him next to Hollister at 2,600 because that's my cheap tight end this week. But yeah, Hollister might actually be a lot of people's cheap tight end. So Max Williams might be the play.
Well, let me just see how much Max Hollister is because I like that play.
Jacob Hollister.
Sorry, I'm conflating them. Sorry. It's been a hard day's night for myself. Let's be honest here.
Because we do see Seattle's offense
3%.
obviously has 3 pretty good wide receivers. They have 2 stud wide receivers, and David Moore's been above average all year long. But their tight end situation's been kind of murky. You have Disley, you have Hollister, and you of course have the ageless wonder Greg Olsen. But it looks like Hollister has usurped Olsen, at least in the red zone.
No, I actually like that as a $100 buy up. I'm going to pivot to that. He's only 3% owned. I thought he was going to be like 8% owned.
Me too, and you can't have that for a value.
Yeah, he's been burning my ears up a little bit, and so I'm a little worried. That leaves us
5,500 is a very decent flex this week.
Yeah, it is. And so let's take a look at our options, starting with Leonard Fournette.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's exactly 5,500.
Isn't
he?
Yeah.
Or is he 50?
He's 5,500. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
So let's take a look here. We have Justin Herbert, Miles Sanders, Jamal Williams, Keenan Allen, Devontae Adams, Robert Woods, Jacob Hollister, Leonard Fournette, and then the Rams D. Man, this is going to be hard to get away from. Is there anybody here that you just can't live with and you go, get him out, get him out?
It's hard to say no to any of those guys, especially when the savings came from tight end and defense. We didn't spend down anywhere else, really. I mean, Jamal Williams has been priced, but he's a great value, extremely high upside.
Yeah.
And I mean, where's our ownership? Our highest ownership is with Devontae, most likely.
Yes, definitely. So let's put in the last friend here at Flex. I really do love this tool, by the way. It's really easy to use.
I might have to subscribe myself.
I might have to pay for it and share, that as a company. Leonard Fournette.
Write it off.
We're right at 75.4%. I said yesterday I wanted to be 75% and under, so I'll take it. I will. I'll take it. It being, right there on the level for us. I think the differentiation is really the Rams defense. I don't think people are going to be pairing that up. I don't think they're going to have that at all. So
which I'm shocked by.
I'm shocked by it too. You also, one thing we didn't mention, the running back, if you understand how running backs work, the system of running backs, they chip defensive ends. They understand how to get out and into space to get away to relieve pressure and things like that. When you got rookies who are just not used to being back there and doing all the things you're supposed to do,
that's the learning curve.
And it's not saying that DJ Dallas has sucked or he's been out of position. I'm not calling him out. I'm just saying
he's inexperienced.
He's learning how and where to be on certain plays. And as he learns, it's an advantage for the defense. It just is. And Aaron Donald doesn't need an advantage. He just does.
It's also an easy cop out for a coach who has to give carries to a higher priced veteran.
Yeah, it's true. Well, well, with that being said, I like Leonard Fournette as a lower priced veteran in this situation. Not breaking the bank for us at 5,500. I think that we have. Here's what we have.
What's his ownership? I need to know his ownership now because
6.7%.
6.7?
6.2. 6.2. I'm sorry.
For that price? That's so good.
I know.
I mean, you ideally want to be at 5 or so, but that's not that much more.
Well, here's the thing that's interesting, right? So let's say that this looks a little weird, but let's just say we did this. I mean, not that it matters because, aesthetics don't really matter. But if you really want to be, less, I don't know. If you just want to look at the lineup from maybe putting the lowest positioned point total in your flex, we could put Jamal Williams in our flex if it makes you feel a little better.
But Jamal Williams plays in the early block.
Oh yeah, he does.
Right? You might want to put the flex as your afternoon player. So if you have to pivot to a different player that's also on the afternoon slate, which there's 5 early and 6 late today because the Masters is going to get a lot of coverage in between that time. I believe that's the main reason why the NFL slate got broken up this way for just this weekend because of the Masters on Sunday. Because the Masters is never during the fall. It's always an April thing. And it easily competes with baseball that time of year.
No, very smart thinking. I didn't even think that. I love what you're thinking.
But yeah, I want, especially with the 5 and 6 games split this today, I want to put a later afternoon player in the flex so that I can pivot with either a running back, tight end, or wide receiver if I need to, because we do get late swap before the late games kick off.
Oh, we didn't get in.
Yeah, there's another one.
Well, here's the thing. I was confused because I guess I didn't reserve it.
Well, no, you can click on the one that's the same. It's the same contest. It's Overflow. The one you just had in front of you.
No, this is a new one. This is a different one.
Yeah, that's the same one that was just on the screen. Because when one fills up, they have an Overflow contest and fill it too.
Okay, because this just says it's a $600,000 one.
Right, and the first one was what, million?
Yeah,
million total. Yeah, it's because it's not going to be as full as the first one.
Okay. Dang nation. Well, you know what? We still submitted it, so
yep,
that's good to go. Next time I'll just reserve it instead of letting it sit there, But I still think it's a big winner. I love it. Mr. Bowman, big time. I appreciate you coming on here, using your Sunday morning to spend time with me. It's an honor every single time. And
I got the sunshine.
You look sexy. And I think I'll pay you. I'll pay you for this month, this week, and last week too. Today, don't worry. The noggin.
Make sure you send it to the correct email address so it doesn't go to my wife's Starbucks account.
Never. And cheers to you, good sir. I'm drinking my Victory Merry Monkey 10% alcohol. It is delicious breakfast beer. Hope you have a great day and you win lots and lots of money. I'm going to go enter all my lineups and your lineups as well, and go take down some tournaments. And I'm going to pour some Pike Place Roast Starbucks K-Cup for my Keurig, and I'm going to pour a little Jameson in there. Cheers to that, my friends.
Cheers, Rhinos.
Yeah, Rhinos.
His favorite flavor of ice cream is the same as mine, Orange Herbert.
Ooh, that's a real good flavor. I was in love with that as a child. I'm not going to lie. Then I found Rainbow
Herbert.
That was a bad Herbert joke.
That was
terrible.
It was bad. It wasn't even original.
I think we're breaking up.
Crinkling the candy wrapper.
No, love you guys. Hope you guys win all the tournaments this week, except for the ones I'm in. I hope I take them down. And Bo, we got a head-to-head in the SPY for a lot of money.
Do we? Oh, do we?
Oh, we do. We got a little head-to-head action.
Do we?
Spy. I can't wait to see what the spy does for us, my friend. Let's take down that as well. Nimble W numbers.
I'm giving myself. Somebody favored me. Put me as a 15-point underdog. Yeah, whoever that was, I think they're just trolling me because
they're just trying to get a rise out of you, brother. I feel like you're always.
It didn't work because I literally laughed out loud. I spit out my saliva because I wasn't drinking anything when I read it. I spit droplets everywhere. I wasn't wearing a mask either because I was at home.
Well, yeah, just like all the people who are going to get COVID down in D.C. who are rallying this weekend, not wearing masks as well. You're COVID free though, but they probably won't be so lucky, unfortunately. So, yeah. Wear a mask, folks. Just wear a mask.
How old is Darwin now? 300 years old? 400?
Yeah, undefeated, I think. Yeah. All right. Well, love you guys. Have a great week. See you guys next week on the Milly Maker. Peace.
Get that stack.